when these two gladiators walked into this Colosseum.
60.
I can just get through to this red. It's just slightly awkward. There's just reds covering one another at the moment.
22.
He'd love to get the blue out of the way and back up the table on its own spot, but I don't think that's an option at the moment. But you know, with his snooker brain, he'll think of something. Just giving this a little extra thought. He's nicely on the next red. Just depends what colour he decides to play for.
23.
Is he a little unlucky?
20.
Played that beautifully with a lot of topspin. He'd be very unfortunate if he's not nicely on one. This looks a little tight, and the ones to the right middle look tight. The one to the left middle, he's slightly hampered. So that could have finished better.
As we always say, whenever you go into them, even with Ronnie's skill, you need a bit of luck. So this is tricky, and can he just get to the middle of the cue ball? It was tricky, as I say. But once he'd opened them up, he felt obliged to try and keep the break going. And he was always aware of that red that was near the cue ball, and he was frightened of fouling it. Made the pot even more difficult.
He did play it in such a way that the only red he could leave was the one he was taking on to the middle, and that's the one he left because he put the white in quite a clever position.
Yellow.
Just about come down far enough. He'd like to have been closer to this red. He can play for the black or the blue, but make certain of the pot.
4.
Just force him to play in the can. It's not too bad, but he's just got to judge the pace of the cue ball after potting this black.
Yeah, this was the shot Ronnie missed in the middle, but that was the only one he could leave where he put the cue ball. And that's the one that Judd knocked in, and he needs to pull up. I think he's just okay.
Hello.
But does the black pass the blue? Just about, or he can get on the blue.
12.
As John mentioned earlier, it'd be nice to get the blue out of the way there, get it back on its own spot. I think it's so important now for Judd to
Blue.
score heavily here. He's got the chance, that's for sure. They're just the two reds that are safe, the two together near the cushion.
70. $18. $24. $25.
Just little stuns and screws. It's quite comfortable at the moment for Judd. Cue ball not having to travel any great distances, so that makes the next shot that much more easier. 3 points adrift now. The problems will come when he starts playing for those three reds that are near the top cushion. Now, do you play the cannon now, or do you still play for the loose red?
Well, Well, he's got the perfect angle to play that little cannon if he wishes. I mean, it would open things up, but will he risk it? That was the shot that he could have played. So he'd have to get himself back into that position to be able to do that.
39.
And that's a little
40.
pacey. He might be able to play the cannon onto them this time. This is more difficult than the cannon he could have played a couple of shots ago. So let's see if this can work out.
Yeah, he needs to hit the left-hand red of the two. He needed to hit it on the other side. He may still have a pot, but it's anything but easy.
Judd Trump, 40.
When you're a little edgy, those shots along the cushion are difficult. He's got himself 11 points in front, but Ronnie can see enough of this to pot it. And that's played to perfection. One good shot. He wants to try and get the white somewhere in between the two reds. Now he looks a bit straight on the green, so he might not be able to get too close to it. Brown's the better ball for position. Now watch this shot here. There's 1, 2, 3 cushions and right in between the reds. What about that for a positional shot?
Yeah, absolutely perfect. And that's been one of his great strengths
6.
throughout the tournament. His positional play has been absolutely inch perfect on most occasions.
Has he left this straight? He's just gone
30.
2 points in the lead. It looks to be fairly straight. So I have to screw back a reverse side here. And watch the side.
40.
Played beautifully. So one more good positional shot onto the yellow, and he could take this opening frame. Has Judd missed his chance in this frame?
21.
You couldn't see Ronnie missing with the colours on their spots. Oh,
23.
tell you, that didn't go right in the middle of the pocket.
$26.
Believe it or not, every session he's played this year in the World Championship, he's won the opening frame.
30.
And he's done it again.
$35.
Judd did have his chance. And you can't afford to miss that chance against Ronnie O'Sullivan in the form that he is. And he takes this opening frame and he extends his lead. It's now 15-10.
He's getting closer and closer, and indeed he's trying to do what Ken Doherty was the last man to do. The defending champion reached the final the next year, 12 months later.
Well, I never knew that.
Long time ago it was now, Ken.
Must have been a bad year.
But once again, he's kept up his record, winning the first frame of every session. What a fantastic asset that has been for him.
Unbelievable to come out the block so quickly. Obviously, he made a mistake there, Judd, didn't he? Didn't get his position and left himself a tricky red, Ken.
Yeah, I mean, he had a chance. And what I talked about before this last session was Judd was getting his chances, but he's just not as sort of, he hasn't sort of put the frames to bed in one visit enough times to really put O'Sullivan under pressure. He's not clearing up, he's not making the breaks that he has been doing, and if you don't do that, your opponent will sort of take advantage of that as well. You know.
And the positional play here has been a key asset or a key facet of this
Yeah,
match.
and you see it from O'Sullivan here. He plays the brown round the angles. Couldn't hit this any better. Honestly, it's absolutely sweetly. Got a bit of left-hand side bottom on it. Throw it round the angles to widen the angle. Comes inside, off the side rail. Absolutely perfect. And for me, if we're being ultra critical in this stage of the tournament, the difference between the two players